Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall we see what's going on our lovely island Fawnhollow today, where I suppose I'll lead by Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024, everyone. You know, myself included, of course. If you clicked on today's episode being like, hey, I thought this had the same title as yesterday's episode, you're not going crazy. It's because I realised that I titled the episodes wrong. Because when I uploaded yesterday's episode, I titled it Welcome 2024, and I realised, wait, that one should be Farewell 2023. This one should be Welcome 2024. So I've changed it, but I'll change the thumbnail art as well. I forgot to change that, but that's because I've not actually exported the other thumbnail art yet. So anyway, Happy New Year to all of you. I can't wait to see what this year brings. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 7:37 p.m. on Monday, January 1st, 2024. Not 31st. We're not going back quickly through the year. Yeah, so welcome to 2024. As I said, yesterday, I feel like last year was a reasonably good year for me personally. And like, I'm of course, when I say the impact of the year, I'm not talking about the world in general, because I feel like I don't really know the scope of the world in general. That feels pretty like presumptuous on my end to be like, oh yeah, this is the overall ranking for the world. I can only really talk about my local scope and maybe scopes from like my friends or that sort of thing. Now I'm thinking about it. Well, what is the interest rate on the Nook Bank? Because don't we have like 5 million in there? We get in 2,000. So that makes it like that's a terrible interest rate, isn't it? I'm just trying to think about that. Anyway, that's not the point. Hold on, I mean, while we're here at ABD, we can talk about it. Happy New Year. Sorry for Nooks that was unavailable. Oh yeah, so anyone gets 500 and we'll be set at 7+. I forgot about that. They do that every single time. So hold on. We're about 5 million in there with 2,000. 1, 2, 3 places. So that's like 0.5% interest rate, right? That's crazy low. Anyway, that's not the point. We've got to get this into a high savings bank account or something, and 5% AER. Sorry, not the point. What are we going to talk about today? I don't know. I mean, we're sort of here to welcome in 2024. I'm not really sure. Like, I haven't really given much thought about like New Year's resolutions or and the actual thing I do instead. What I try to do and then like immediately forget about in the same way I forget about New Year's resolutions. Is there's a really nice CGP Grey video about it where basically it's talking about New Year's resolutions and about how they can be kind of like flimsy, that sort of thing. I don't really know what would be like the theme of this year. Maybe I'll put like growth or something like that, growth as like an individual, as a person, of course, but like growth in other avenues as well, of course. I just want things to progress, I suppose, this year. Year of progress, year of growth, etc, etc. I can't remember what I chose for last year, to be perfectly honest. Do you think I said maybe I said the exact same thing? I genuinely got no idea, but yeah, basically to give you an outline of that CGB Craig video, is like New Year's resolutions can tend to be kind of flimsy or whatever. It's something about the way you set goals, and I listened to it and I was like, oh, that's an interesting way to go about it. And the general idea being like, instead of you don't have to do it instead of New Year's resolutions, you can honestly have both. But like as an alternative to New Year's resolutions, you can give your year a theme, which is basically like a theme of X, Y, Z or something. So in my case, let's use example of theme of growth, and it basically means that you'll be faced with many sort of like forks in the road in your life throughout this year, and it's basically the year of growth is basically meaning you try and choose the route which aligns most with whatever like keyword you chose in the end. And on average, you should be trying to do it on every single. I mean, ideally, you'd like to do it on every single like fork of road you come to, but obviously, more realistically, you're going to fumble at some of them. You're going to choose a different option, etc, etc. So, for a theme of growth, maybe I'll be like, oh, let's learn like a new skill, a new like talent, etc, etc. And that'll be choosing a theme of growth. Then sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm going to give up on this skill because maybe I'm not enjoying it, or maybe I'm not like jiving with it, or maybe I just like don't have time to support like trying to learn how to do this hobby or committing to this hobby full time. And that'll be like counter to, I suppose, the theming, I suppose, of this year. But you're meant to do that, and then like through that you can be on the general trend. Like the point is that basically all these forks in your life are like these very small decisions which eventually add up to a bigger thing in the end, when breaking down, I suppose, any goal into much smaller, bite-sized, digestible pieces, it's a lot easier than things like, I'm gonna lose like weight this year or something, because that's very sort of like pie in the sky, vague. And I'm not saying it's a bad resolution. I think it's a great thing. Like, if you want to, be healthy, do more exercise, etc., etc., that's a fantastic goal to have. The thing is, with setting goals, you need to make sure that you actually, to actually try and accomplish them. It's a lot easier when things are like concrete. Like, instead of, I'm going to lose weight this year, it's like, I'm going to lose like 10 kilograms this year. I don't know what would be a reasonable number for you. That's kind of up for you to decide. Or I will aim to go to the gym like once a week for like the first 3 months of this year or something like that. But by setting a much more concrete goal, it gives you an actual, or a quantifiable goal, that's a word. It gives you like an actual thing to sort of see how well you're doing. It gives you an actual metric to go by, rather than sort of having a vague feeling about it, stuff like that. Which, I very much ascribe by. It doesn't mean I always stick by it, mind you, because, while I try and set myself like deadlines and things that I'm working on, of course, at the end of the day, unless the deadline is actually something which matters, I always know intrinsically in the back of my head, hey, it's like a soft deadline. So, yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this. So maybe year of growth is a good one. You're doing like trying new things, or like doing new things and furthering them, like I'm very determined that I will live stream this year. I'm gonna say within the first 3 months, let's try and get the first Dear Darling live stream going. You might be like, where are you gonna live stream? I'm probably gonna live stream on Twitch on Dear Darling. I don't expect any of you necessarily to be there, because I think most of you will probably not even realize it's happening. I think probably I'll just like tell you, I suppose, because that's a reward that you get for watching one of these, like the yearly update videos. I did have a plan to basically sort of like revamp things on the Dear Darling YouTube. Not like revamp things in a huge way, but like I was been like update the thumbnail art, giving you banner, like I have like a new D reference with a VTuber-esque style model, and then I'll start live streaming with that, and that'll be like a sort of revamp where I'll be like, I have a set schedule of when I'll be live streaming, and the planned out live stream schedule would be for my time, UK time, would be somewhere around lunch, afternoonish on Saturdays, and then in the evening on Wednesdays or something. And then I'll increase it as see fit, and then like I'll have like an announcement video with that sort of thing, and I'll try and keep to that consistent schedule, because it's fun. I genuinely like playing these games. I like making these videos and that sort of thing, so I don't see why I wouldn't like live streaming as well. And the live streams will be maybe like 2 to 3 hours or something, depending. And then my plan was I'll play like a couple of games, and then at the last 30 minutes of each live stream, I will draw a continuous thing which stretches over the entire month, I suppose, of live streams for that month. Okay, so what it basically means, like on the first live stream of a month, I will start drawing a piece of artwork, and then every other subsequent live stream in that month, I will continue working on that piece of artwork for like 30 minutes or something each live stream. And then by the end, and then that will be the thumbnail art that will be uploaded for the live stream VOD when it goes onto my channel. And then that means that like at the end of the 8 months, I will have like a finished piece of artwork, which will be like, oh yeah, here we go. Here's the actual like thumbnail art for this month's live stream. I thought that'd be like a fun thing to do. I was thinking like maybe it should be the other way around, where I do it for next month's theme, so then you can have a set one each time. But then I was like, if I do it this way, it's better, because that means every single live stream now has a different thumbnail, rather than the same thumbnail, just with a different date on it. It's now gotten each one, like the early live stream VODs will always have like the sketchy portion of the drawing, and then the later ones will always be the rendered ones. And I'm like, that seems like a cool idea. Again, that sort of hinges on me actually live streaming in the first place for it to actually matter or make sense, but it should happen. It will happen. First 3 months. I do need to work on there's so many things I need to work on, but I do need to work on that VTuber model to actually get it up and running, I suppose. It's not even that important. I've now realised about the entire thing. Like, I wanted to start live streaming when I had it, but I don't think it's really all that important to actually get it like fully rigged and animated and that sort of thing. To be perfectly honest, I think most people are not here for my animated D avatar. I'd imagine most people are here for the chill vibes of video games, or maybe the conversational filler which is going on. I don't really know necessarily why you're here. I suppose that kind of depends up to each and every one of you, but yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this, to be honest. I'm just sort of like letting you know. 2024. I think I spoke a bit about it like in yesterday's video, but like what games can you see on the horizon? I can tell you about probably as of right now, the next series I've planned to be is Paradise Killer is going to follow on from Goodbye Volcano High. Talos Principle 2 will follow on from Railbound. I forgot what I said was going to follow on from Okami, but that one's like quite a ways off. So, you know, that one's still kind of up in the air. Maybe it's Cocoon, maybe it's something else, maybe it's Stray. I don't really know. I don't think Stray's all that mechanical though, so maybe that'll, I don't know. Stray can maybe make a good like live stream video. I don't know. But some of these series will definitely make it to the live stream instead of the actual pre-recorded episodes, depending on how they go, I would say. I think probably ones which maybe don't have as much narration from my side or require mechanical things which I can talk while playing at the same time, which I can't really do with story-based videos, right? I don't know, or maybe just like, maybe if I live stream enough and there's enough of an audience, I'll do like audience voted ones, who knows? That's of course all in the future, and maybe I should keep my reality of ideas grounded. Because the thing of having like all these grand ideas is ideas are only as grand as they are in actuality, which in most cases is nothing because the ideas don't always come to fruition for something. Yeah, I don't really know what I was going to say about this. It's just sort of like that's what comes to mind. Like yeah, those other plans, the realistic plans is I feel like streaming is a very realistic happening, I think, for this channel, and I think it's also realistic that revamped artwork for like the avatar and the banner, the channel banner, it's also pretty reasonable. Because I mean, I like the avatar I made like really randomly, like at the beginning. It's not even the first avatar, because the first avatar was like, I think I talked about it before in like my Q&A video, where it was just like a really old. You don't want to tell me what you're crafting? Okay, there you go. Like the old version of D, but now it's a new version of D, which I drew randomly one afternoon or whatever, and then I made a Dear Darling banner just really quickly one day, you know, so basically solidify the theme, I suppose, of what we're going for with D, that sort of thing. Because currently I use a pink and orange colour scheme, but I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like it makes more sense to have like a reddish colour scheme, but I don't know. I'm not going to change your eye colour at this point. It can be pink, orange, and it could be red. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like pink and orange will be the actual body colour, and red and white will be tend to be the clothing colour, but that's also not what I've done so far for VG model. I think I previewed it at some point. It might have actually been last year. It's been so long since I worked on this model, mind you. And it's because I've just been too busy to actually properly like work on it. It's like a lot of effort, I'm going to be honest, but it is something I should do, you know. I like, on reflection, I do love making these videos for each channel. I mean, but I don't put that much effort into them, apart from just playing games, to be perfectly honest. The rest of it is just carried by my natural charisma, one would say. If one were so arrogant, but of course I'm not. Yeah, obviously I'm not, like, doing huge amounts of work, I suppose, for it. I'm just, like, here to have vibe and have a fun time, and I'm just very thankful that many people wanted to join along with me, and be like, saw this channel and was like, yeah, you know what, I want to be along with these good like times and good vibes as well. And you know, I'm very thankful for that in the first place. It's certainly a big benefactor, I think, for actually continuing onwards. At least on me personally, because it means it's like, yeah, you know, people actually do want to watch us, you know, rather than just like the internal ideas of what I have, and you know, those are flimsy, and it would just be like something, eventually I'd just be like, oh, you know, I'm getting bored of doing this, or like it's too much effort to keep this channel going, and then I'd stop. The fact that people are still watching, people are looking forward to these videos, it's like, yeah, I'm going to keep going because people want to watch them, you know, and I'm very thankful for it. But yeah, it's time I actually put some more effort, I suppose, into this channel in general. Now, it's not to say that there's going to be like edited videos really coming up anytime soon, that I still don't really have time for. Again, it's the sort of thing where, like, if I were to do that, I think I would have to be working on my channel full-time to actually have time to do video editing plus all the other stuff I need to do in my life. I don't say it's out of the question, but you know, it's pretty difficult to make money off like YouTube and Twitch and that sort of thing, and I don't, but the thing is, it's so inconsistent. It would have to be so much money for me to, like, I mean, I'm talking like behind the scenes, which don't even apply to me. Obviously, you know, if it wasn't clear at this point, I do work. This is not I have a full-time job, and this is just like a side hobby I do on the side. But it's the sort of thing where I'm like, what would it take for me to not do a full-time job and instead make YouTube and like Twitch, like this online influencer video content creator, my full-time job? It would have to be a significant amount, I think, for like stability as well. I don't know. I mean, we don't even need to think about that because that's like pipe dream stuff. As for now, I'm just perfectly content with having fun doing my own thing at this sort of time. Goodbye Volcano. Okay, yes, that video's been uploaded. Uploaded it literally about half an hour before it was meant to be uploaded because I thought I had one in pre-recorded. I did not have one pre-recorded, so there we go. Yeah, but 2024. What things am I looking forward to in 2024? There's some holidays which I'm looking forward to. Of course, there's always going to be a holiday which I have with friends. You know, of course, last year it was Croatia with all my friends. And this year, I'm not going to tell you what it is until it's happened because that's just generally the way I do things. There's another holiday I'm going to have with a smaller group of friends where we're going to see a concert. I'll talk about that more in time. But these will probably both be around summertime. There's some major things I think which are planned to start 2024. There's not many things I can think off the top of my head where I'm just like, yeah, this is happening this year. But who knows, to be perfectly honest, who knows? The world is my oyster, shall we say, so anything can possibly happen. Have a happy new year. Oh, thanks, Brewster. I forgot about a lot of villagers, like, wish you happy new year. I should reply to comments. How many comments have I had recently? How long has it been, basically? 2 weeks ago? That's about me. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying about all of this. I don't know. I'm trying to think of is there anything else for like plans for this channel which I can talk about going forward. That's all I have for right now. At some point, you know, this is like not related. Like I do have like an art, not channel, YouTube channel, but I have like an art account which is a separate name to Dear Darling, which I don't often share because I kind of want them to be separate things most of the time. But I do also plan to upload like the writing things I've done for like my writing group online at some point under a different pseudonym name. I like to keep them separate because I kind of want these things I do to be judged on their own merits rather than association through previous things. Like, if that makes sense. I don't want someone to like, oh, I'm only going to read all your stories just because I watch all your stuff on YouTube. I want people to like read my stories and be like, oh, you know, that's like a cool story and that sort of thing. And maybe if separately they're like, oh, I also watch you on YouTube, that would be like a nice coincidence. That's basically what I want. It's like maybe it's like a very personal thing for me to want things to be like this. I do this every time I clear out the weeds on this section. It's just, I don't know, I guess I want my skills to be judged on their own merits rather than anything else, which is, I know it's a tall order in the first place, but still. Keeping things separate is just how I like to live my life. So I do plan to upload those stories, and maybe at some point I'll start uploading music stuff as well, again probably under a different account name. And if you're like, but I do want to find them out, I don't know, I guess you could ask them on Discord, maybe I'll tell you if they actually start. I'm almost certainly going to talk about it in like an Animal Crossing episode when I actually start doing that, so you know, I guess look out for that. But maybe I'll let it bubble a little bit with obscurity. I don't know, I just kind of prefer things that way. But yeah, I think those are mostly the plans I sort of have for 2024, at least in regards to this channel. Personal things, of course, are personal things, which, you know, we'll cross those bridges when I decide, if I decide that, yeah, these are things I want to talk about. But that's how it should be, you know, in my opinion. The separation of personal and online persona life should very much be separated. In my opinion. You might disagree, you might be like, I want them not antiquated, or one and the same, but not me. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, then let me know what your plans are for 2024, your resolutions, the things you'd like to do, the things you want to do. But for now, I'm going to round this episode up here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now, and welcome to 2024.